Oh, right, okay.
Can you hear us right now? Please confirm on the chat because we start the presentation. Okay, so I will repeat again. Hello, welcome everyone. Those who are online because we are here attending the meeting physically as well. The beginning. Can you please do the next slide? So everyone is can hear us right now because we have some problems with the mics going on. So today is the next seminar out of the series of the seminar that we are providing, and the agenda for today is my introduction first, and the main and the core many additional will be the value-based pricing provided by Grzegorz Kurczak, an expert and the CEO of the and founder of the company Pricing Club. What will be the seminar about, webinar about, will be, you can see right now, this is about prices is the biggest, why the price is the biggest profit leverage in your business, the benefits of implementing value-based pricing versus cost-plus pricing and competition-based pricing, value-based pricing process, methods of defining, mapping the value of the product and service, principles of effective communication for that value that will be provided by Grzegorz. And then I cordially invite you to ask guys questions. Also during the webinar via the chat, please do it, and also at the end when there will be a written. So we are here because of the TWIST project. TWIST is the Horizon 2020 action that provides regional web innovative services for digital and mobile entrepreneurship. The project is co-funded by the European Commission and through the startup Europe Project. For your information, it is important that Horizon 2020 is the biggest EU research program ever, and Startup Europe aims to strengthen the business environment for web and ICT and entrepreneurs so that they ideas and business can start and grow in the EU and hopefully beyond as well. The value proposition of Startup Europe is value proposition for startups, value proposition for national, regional initiatives and policymakers, and value proposition for ecosystem builders, investors, accelerators, corporates, and this is where we are. So this is about the United Startup Ecosystems, helping investors, corporates, and accelerators to access the best startups across Europe. The next slide. Our ecosystem consists of 4 existing local ecosystems: Rome, Stockholm, Lille, Warsaw. And the TWIST itself aims to connect the 4 local web entrepreneurship startup ecosystems by providing new services for web entrepreneurs focusing on scaling up and competing in the global market. True, and that's how we do it even with today's action, through enrollment of knowledge mentors, to the application of new models and business startup creation, with including the new methodologies like the startup model, and also we have access to the right type of finance, which is access to business angels networks, business angels itself, seed capital, venture capital, and then. So next slide. Objectives. The general objectives are regarding the high value rate of web and mobile companies, to develop the concept of co-living, co-learning, and co-working, and exchange the methodologies and competencies among the 4 ecosystem stakeholders. As every one of us has, we have the common and the same one mindset about what we should do to develop the healthy ecosystem, but different approaches, how to do it, and this is our value. If of course you are interested in finding more what is this about, then please follow us on our website. If I can ask the next slide, please. The objectives are and press one more. I think it's something. Well, something is, I think, missing to the side. I just mentioned that the actions are co-learning, co-living, and co-working. This next slide. Um, uh, so, how we achieve this? Do we achieve this via the meetups and webinars like today? Next slide, please. By residential exchange programs and professional. This is how we express the professional co-living experience. The next slide, please. And through organizing the challenges that will be done in the future in the next year. And to the next slide. And this is where we are here right now. The most important part, today's webinar, and Grzegorz Kultak, an expert and the founder of Pricing Club. Here you can find out a little bit more about Grzegorz, and I will one more time cordially invite you to listen very carefully and ask questions during the webinar as well via the chat. So if it is for myself, that will be it. Thank you, and let's continue right now with the challenge. Yes. So.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, team online. Good morning, team Warsaw. As you see, I'm wearing a shirt today morning, not like that picture. But to be on this session with you, and at this stage, I would like to very much for Krzysztof for an invitation to this TWIST project. I'm very excited about that, and I would like to thank you all the TWIST invitation. And I'm very happy to share with you some findings, some topics about value-based pricing this morning. Next please. So let me tell you, at the beginning, let me tell you a few words about my experience with pricing, about my the fit towards pricing. So first of all, I'm 45 and I've got over 40 years experience purchasing goods and spending the money. So I did many experiments by myself. You know, how do I react on pricing? How do I act the prices points? How do I act in the shop and so on? So I encourage you very much to observe yourself during the purchasing process. When you buy a car, when you buy a new flat, for example, you know, how do you feel? What do you think? You know, what kind of ideas you got? You know, what are the comparisons? So please be focused on that, because I can tell you one thing: that your customers, they do the same stuff. They react very similar to you, so you got, you know, very good feel to observe and learn, to get some learning from your own experience. So this is first. But secondly, I'm an experienced guy in the field of business in Poland. I've got over 25 years experience in a couple of industries: food, tobacco, distribution, the bath faucets, consulting finally. So I've got, you know, I've got pretty many chances of seeing the pricing strategies, tactics, pricing negotiation with big retailers, you know, French, German guys, you know. So I'm pretty experienced at that. I'm saying that because I've got sort of very big overview of pricing from different point of views, and that's pretty cool for myself. And thirdly, finally, I'm a founder of Pricing Club. Next please, I'm founder of Pricing Club. We are the pricing consultancy company, and our value proposition is profit from pricing. Profit from pricing. So we really specialize only in pricing. I'll emphasize this: only in pricing, because this is so big discipline that I think to just understand a bit and use it for the profit, one has to specialize in this field. So, because pricing actually this is intersections of three huge science disciplines like economics, mathematics, and psychology. So during the session, I will show you a few places, few points when you can understand that. So we are talking really about economics, mathematics, and psychology, meaning the perception of the prices. So this is pure psychology topic, right? That's why we just specialize only in pricing. We've got pretty good team. So we've got experts in the field of sales management, marketing, psychology, math, statistics. This is my favorite one. Statistics. There are really a few guys in Poland which understand statistics very much, right? And we've got pretty cool, tools, sophisticated and not sophisticated, to make some very good pricing analysis. All right. So to have bit of interaction, I would like to ask you our first question, guys. If you look at our logo, Pricing Club, no, I have to admit I have got one pet, I've got dog. So my question is, if you please answer on chat, what breed of dog do I have? And please look at the logo. I know it's not easy, I know, but try to answer what breed of dog, what race of dog do I have? 15 seconds, please. Any answer, Bill?
No.
What breed of dog? So we got like the small dogs, the big ones.
We're talking about the size or the
Breed.
There will be a mixed dog.
Okay, John, this is all about psychology, right? I will not ask further question. Why do you think so? Any other? So Piotr said the mixed one. Okay. Any other answer?
German Shepherd.
I don't know what to say really, but yeah.
Oh, great. Okay, great. There was a very good answer from team in Warsaw. So Pricing Club. So pricing, this is my favorite topic, my passion and love. My Labrador, 3 years old female, sorry. All right. Next, please. Few words about the agenda. So first of all, I would like to tell you briefly about pricing. This is our first session about pricing, and to be honest, in Poland, this topic is not really very popular, which is good for us because we just want to have specialization in this topic. So we Poles are so good in cost management, but we forget many times about pricing. How cool this instrument is, I will try to show you later on. But pricing is really very powerful to improve the profit. So that's why I will use this stage to tell you, some slides about how powerful pricing is. Then we got the pure agenda. We start with the value-based pricing, what's in it, right? And I will tell you descriptions about few value-based pricing tools like economic value, value drivers, estimation. And finally, I will just try to give you a clue what is the difference between value and willingness to pay. So really, customers can judge the value positively, but they could not be really willing to pay the money we are asking for. So that's the really this is a very important point in pricing to understand what is the value, but then how customers react on value and are they willing to pay the money we are asking for? And then the summary final. All right, next please. So let's talk about pricing. So I've chosen a few definitions about pricing, which I think are really describing the issue. So first, I think the most important is that pricing is the biggest and most elastic profit lever in really every organization. So what it means? It means that a small difference of price results in a big change of the operating profit. Small difference of price results in a big change of the operating profit. And please think shortly about this sentence. Small difference in price results in big change of the operating profit. So if we are successful to rise the price by 1%, that will have a huge impact on the operating profit. I know this is not easy to increase the prices by 1%, but if we got the pricing power to do that, so if we got the good value proposition, segmented market, that we can be successful in this, so that will have really huge impact on the profit. And I will explain you maybe on this topic on the other slide. Could you make it okay? This is the study made by McKinsey in 2003, and really this, we can say that this is valid observation. So they researched 1.2 thousand companies worldwide, and this shows really the power of pricing. And I used to say that the pricing is the power of 1%. What does it mean? So on the left, we've got some variables which exist in entrepreneur life. So we've got the pricing, variable costs, sales volume, and fixed costs. So it says that if we will be able to increase prices by 1%, that will impact your operating profit, the bottom line, by 8.7%. If we decrease the variable cost by 1%, that will impact operating profit by almost 6%. If we increase volume, sales volume by 1%, that will impact the operating profit by almost 3%, and fixed costs are least efficient, only almost 2%. This is the trailing average figures, coming from 1.2 thousand, so very representative number of companies worldwide. So we can say that this is pretty good picture showing us how pricing is powerful. So to be honest, I really wonder why pricing is not so sort of popular, or why it's not so perceived as important topic in Poland. Again, I emphasize that again because please bear in mind that using this topic right, you can improve your bottom line really dramatically. Can we come back to the previous one? So I said that this is the biggest profit lever in the company, but again, there is this lever is elastic. What does it mean? So it means that if you are doing a good job with pricing, you can improve your bottom line. But if you are doing a bad job with pricing, so you can really lead your company to the red figures situation. And about this, what I'm saying now says the definition number 3. So pricing is the fastest way to improve the profit or to bankruptcy, right? So this is really true. And then in the middle, we've got definition that says the pricing is the only element of marketing mix which brings income to the company. So this definition is for more marketing guys. You probably know the marketing mix instruments, right? So we've got the product, price, distribution, and the promotions of this marketing mix. So from this market, the needs 4Ps, only pricing really brings the profit, brings income into the company, and it is really valuable remark. That makes sense. To prepare, new product, you need to have MVP investments, teamwork, and so on. So it's really expensive to bring new product or new service idea into the market. Distribution is very costly, right? So especially traditional one. Promotion, so it means all the communication which you've got with the market costs a lot of money. But pricing, really, this is only one instrument which is critical for your income. So it's very critical, especially at the introduction stage when you guys start the new company or you just introduce new product on the market. So really, this decision, what should be the price of my new product is critical for whole the story in the future. And maybe the last one, this guy, probably Warren Buffett. I think this is in top 5 now, richest guys in the world. People say that he is the best investor. His nickname is the best investor in the world, right? I know that he has more than $60 billion, so we can believe this guy. And, and he's 85. That's I checked. Because it's important. So he is the, I would say, very experienced and rich guy. So he has the proof of concept, right? So we can say that he knows what he says. So Warren Buffett, he said that pricing is the single most important decision in evaluating a business. The single most important decision in evaluating a business is pricing power. So when he checked the new possibilities to invest, he always tries to understand what is the pricing power of this company. So what are the price level and how the pricing power is really accepted on the market, and that's very true. And for example, when you take the Apple pricing and how is it accepted on the market? So we all have this stuff, and if they increase the prices by 1, 2, 3, 5, 10%, I would say that there will be no any difference in demand. So that's really the Apple that has the pricing power, which Warren is talking about. Okay, so 3 definitions on the beginning. My advice for you at this stage is think about pricing. How am I effective in pricing? What can I do to improve my pricing intelligence? What can I do to use pricing for maximizing the long-term profit? This is the outcome number 1. All right, next please. Okay, we were talking about this, the power of 1%. So pricing, this is the power of 1%. Next please. Okay. You guys, we are in a startup project. So probably you know this business model canvas created by Alexander Osterwalder, and it really helps to make some kind of structure of the business, especially for startups, right? So we've got on the right customers, we've got the value propositions, distribution channels, key partners, and on the bottom we've got the costs and revenues. This is really useful stuff, and probably you work with this, and I think this is very good stuff to work with, especially on the first stage of the business activity. But what I think that Alexander missed one topic, really, and I'm really about to write an email to him saying that he missed one element in this matrix. He missed, in my opinion, he missed pricing. So pricing is really something which has to be very related with the value propositions. because we can say that pricing, that all processes in company lead to the pricing. So how effective we are in all the functions which you can see in this business model, we can say that we can price, we have to use this efficiency to price our product or service in the market. So my opinion is that pricing has to be in the very middle of this business model, and in that sense, this picture is completed. So all in a company lead to price. So lead to price. So what I mean that you can price the premiums for that. And I've got pretty good experience with the startups in Poland, especially with the high technology startups and services. And my main observation is that the guys, they've got pretty cool value proposition, very good ideas, but they price their product or service very low. So really, they do not believe in the value so much, and they price too low. So that's why I emphasize this that the pricing has to be really in the middle of this model. When you've got your value proposition, so next question should be, okay, what would be the pricing model for my value proposition in the market? All right, next. Okay. The next definition of pricing is the pricing is all about perception. On the beginning, I told you that the pricing lies in the intersection of three big disciplines, and I mentioned the psychology, and this is the example. And I've got the question, guys, for you. We all need paper, right? Let's imagine that we are in the supermarket and there is the choice between, we've got two options: to buy the paper with 20% off or to get one free. And we've got 8 rolls in the package. And the question is, what would you choose for your best benefit? So again, we are in a supermarket. We need the paper, right? And there is the 2 options for purchase. First is 20% off, 8 rolls in a package, or the second is 8 rolls in a package and 1 glass. So the question is, what would you choose?
It should be quick mathematics being done, but I guess that the 20% off is the better option. The easy thing to do is check the price per kilo. At every supermarket, there is a price per kilo. If you have a price per kilo, but here it's like 20% off. I'm doing the mathematics in my head, so then you can just like, to be comparable, then you would have to get like 2 for free, more or less. Yeah, am I something right? So it's better to have 20% off, otherwise 2 has to be for free to make the propositions equal. 12.5% per one extra. But a lot of people, they buy processors, they buy rice instead. So both of them probably choose.
So you say which option? Which option would you choose?
As an average customer, the second one, we need 1 extra. As average customer.
All right. So you choose one extra. Okay. You?
I choose 20% discount if I was a customer, and if I was giving them, if I was if I had supermarket, then I would try to sell with 1 extra.
What would you choose? Which
As a customer?
Yes, customer.
20%.
20%.
20%.
Very interesting.
The same.
Very interesting. Okay. The later the better. I would choose one. Are there any answers from online team?
No.
No. You guys, you
Generally, the price is low. Generally, the payment paper is in general the prices are pretty low. So
Okay. All right. So I can tell you because that has that was researched many times, you know, and I know the answer. So most of customers has chosen one toilet paper, and there is theory behind that. We as a customers in general use very much psychologists say heuristics. So this is like the shortcut to make the decision. We don't like to calculate very much. Okay, how much is it? 20% out of the price of, I don't know, 8.55, 8.59, or 7.99, right? So we just don't want to do that. Of course, we are talking about the toilet paper, right? We are not talking about we are not talking about some serious purchases, but in the supermarkets, especially in the grocery shops, this heuristics works very commonly. So people used to choose, you know, the options which they are easy to understand. Okay, I understand that buying, you know, this 8 rolls of toilet, fill it, and this stuff. So as I told you, pricing is all about perceptions, and it's very, very critical. Again, pricing is all about perception of value and perception of price. And really, this is the final definition of pricing from my experience. So perception of value and perception of price. And again, observe yourself. How do you react on this weight of how do you weigh the value, how do you judge or perceive the price? Because really, in this momentum, the decision is being made. So pricing is all about perception of value and perception of price. So if you try to understand how your customer understands your value, or how they perceive your value, and how your customer perceives this relation between the value and the price, so you are in a very good way to make the very efficient pricing then. If not, we are a bit of out of grip, really, in the market grip, and that's really beauty of pricing. Right? Okay, now let's talk about 3 basic strategies we can find all over the market. They are commonly used in the globe. So first is cost plus pricing. Cost plus pricing is very common. Some sources say that cost plus pricing is used in about 70–80% of businesses in Europe. So I think we can say the same in Poland. So it's rather easy to establish, and the logic is that if you calculate your direct and indirect cost level, then you add satisfactory markup or margin, then you are done with the pricing. Of course, there are many threats of this way of calculating the pricing. What would happen if your costs will rise dramatically 10–15% in a very short period? So then you'll be forced to change your pricing. And really, please remember that your customers take bad word, shit about your costs. They do not understand your costs. Never. They don't want to understand your costs. The cost structure, this is your job to do. They just want to understand the value you deliver on the market and how you price it. What is the cost? The cost for customers is the pricing. Let me put it this in this way. Right? So the cost plus pricing is sort of easy to calculate to be in the safe size of markup and margin, but this is not really the customer-oriented strategy. The next one is competition pricing, very commonly used in a startup in the world in Poland. So you guys have some good idea, they just want to compare themselves with some players on the market, right? And then there's pretty simple question: shall we price at the same level, or maybe 10% less, or 5% more? That's only space they are talking about. The trap of this way of thinking, of course, is that you just give away your pricing decision into the other hands, right? So it's pretty risky that observing only what do your competitors make so big impact on your pricing. So that's why my topic of this session is value-based pricing, because this is the most efficient way to maximize your long-term profit. And it's logic, because it's all about bringing the value on the market and ask the really fair transfer, right? We can say that on the other hand, when you price too low the value you propose, you just make some kind of mess on the market, because customers will just doubt the value you bring on the market. The market is wise, and we as a customer are wise. So when you just put too low price for the value you deliver, so that has the really opposite impact. Just decrease the trust to your value. Really very important topic. So please take this as a takeaway. When you understand your value, when you believe in the value you bring on the market, you have to price this value in a proper way, not too low, because it's very risky. I need to say that to price the value you bring on the market a little bit too high is less risky than if you price the value too low. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the value-based price. Most powerful strategy for maximizing the long-term profit, and especially when you bring something new on the market, right? Some new ideas, new solutions, some new applications, right? So it's really worth to consider this strategy. Yeah. Okay, before we talk about some tools and instruments in value-based pricing, 2 more questions, guys, and please, I encourage the online team to take a part with our discussion. So my question is, you all guys know what is it, right? So this is GoPro Hero Black Edition camera, very fancy stuff. So my first question is, how much is it worth to you? GoPro Hero Black Edition. Please write down the figure and just tell me how much is it worth. Simple question, simple answer. 20 seconds.
I don't need it, so
So the ones who are
practice extreme sports. So
let's say if you are 5,000.
well, I know the price of camera, market price.
So read the question.
Yeah.
How much is it worth to you? We are not talking about
Okay.
market value. How much is it worth to you?
No.
0. So if someone will say, okay, this is for you, you say, no thanks.
Might be. If you give it away,
If this is 0 worth
yeah.
to you, so if somebody will give you, this stuff, you will say, okay,
Give it to someone who can keep it.
Okay. You are doing now. Good.
Super. Well, I'm not. If I would it to be a present for me, I would definitely use it. I don't have a need to buy it, but in terms of how, if I would just like wanted to have another gadget, I would just like pay for it $100. This is the price I could get for a gadget. $100. Yeah, because this is the price I could pay for a gadget. I know that it's more expensive, but I'm not the one who really needs this. So this is the price I could pay. This is how much it's worth to me.
All right. Now there's a lot of €100.
No, $100.
Okay.
I know what this camera can actually, but for my needs, I would pay maximum $100, $150. And we have some answers on chat. Martin wrote, I bought one for 1,500 zloty, and because we spawned, now it's 890. So,
Any other answers?
no.
Okay, so all right, folks. So we got a pretty interesting scale from 0. Okay, but again, who said 1,500? Who said that?
Martin.
Okay. But the question is again, Martin, please answer how much is it worth to you? So you answer the question. You just wrote how much did you pay? But the question is how much is it worth to you? So please, Martin, we are waiting for your answer, and I will comment that. So we've got pretty big scale from 0 to 890, and I would answer 1.3 thousand. This is my answer.
Martin answered that he thinks it's worth the price.
Okay. Good. Very interesting.
From my perspective, it would maybe worth the price even more if I would be able to make money out of it. So,
Right.
I know not
if you are a very active guy and you like extreme games, extreme sports, so the value of this camera is higher.
Yeah, of course. It is. That's why I said that I would just take it as a gadget.
Target.
And then I can pay for a gadget $100 or more.
We can see the chat now.
All right. Okay. All right. Little 829. Okay. So we got pretty good scale from 0 to, I said 1,300. Martin said okay, to 1,500. Martin, he bought the stuff for 1,500. He says that this is the value he recognized at this stage. And there are pretty interesting situation. This is really, to be honest, this is really the pricing discussion. Right? This is really the pricing discussion. Because some said, okay, I don't need that, right? The value for me is 0. So it means that we really need to segment our customers in a proper way. Some people do need our stuff. Some people very much need our stuff. Some people do not care about our stuff. And you can imagine how powerful pricing would be if you would be able to recognize the situation and to make some kind of pricing discrimination. So pricing discrimination means that you price it a little bit different way for this segment, you price a little bit different way for another segment, and there are, of course, some tools to do that. So this is one observation. There was the answer that I know what this camera can do, right? So someone said, okay, I know how powerful this stuff is, but maybe I would not need this very much. But that created some extra value. I think that was your answer, right? And you said that you, what was the answer?
I paid for it. Um, for mine it's like $100 to $150.
Oh, we took $250. Okay, so that's so higher, right? Someone bought the stuff for 1.5 thousand, and this is really, there is a really interesting psychological technique which says that people value the product more after the purchase than before. This is really powerful. What does it mean? When you purchase the product, before you've got some kind of different thoughts, is it worth or not, and this stuff, especially women when they buy dress, and people all know it. But there is the critical point when you pay the money, you just own the product. Your value perceptions go up. Exactly. Right? So you say, okay, you just get rid of all the, thoughts which say maybe yes, maybe no. This is really pretty powerful stuff. How you can use this in your pricing strategy. For example, freemium really works on this psychological observation. What does freemium do? Okay, try the product. Try how cool is it. Own this product, and then you can pay. Right? This is very powerful. That's what I said, psychology, economy, and mathematics. Right? And then we need to move on, but then very shortly question, how much are you willing to pay for it? So you answer the question, what is it worth to you? But then let's spend 15 seconds and think about how much are you willing to pay for it. So this is the question for guys who said more than zero, right? Okay. Who said more than zero? So,
Yeah.
this is the I recognize the value by $200, right? So, but now there is a decision. I got this camera and asking the question: how much money you are willing to pay for it?
I think the same amount
Yeah.
because I'm usually willing to pay actually the price that it's worth for me. If the price is higher, so, I'm thinking of maybe other solution which is more custom made for me
Mhm.
for my needs.
Okay. You said 100 zloty. Okay. How much are you willing to pay?
It's still about that. The conscious part of my mind would say you don't get it, you will not use it, you will not. It's not worth paying that much if that would be just like another gadget on my shelf. Then maybe I know that it's extra. It's a really high-end product, I would say, but I will not make a use of it. So still, if that would be for me for $100, I would take it for $100. Because this is just like this price I can afford, just knowing that it will be on the shelf, lying for like months and months, and will be used twice a year, maybe during holidays, and that's it.
Yeah. You're a pretty good negotiator. Right. Okay, any answers? How much are you willing to pay for it?
Guys who are online as well, we'll just like follow up with the second question. Can you please give us your thoughts, your answers? How much are you willing to pay? Okay, I want to go to the up. This kind of a difficult question after the question how much is worth to you, because I don't see so much difference. So it's like I'm at gunpoint and somebody says you must buy this. How much will you pay?
Maybe
Something like this.
I changed my mind because I'm thinking of that I uh, I am willing to pay like 10 to 15% more than it's the value for me.
No.
It depends if you will be surprised by the possibilities.
Maybe not
I'm not sure.
after you try out.
So,
It's interesting. I just like read a comment that it's lately it was just like a huge queue and someone was waiting since 10 o'clock p.m. till 6 or just like 10 a.m. before the Zara shop was open and there was just like an exclusive designer who made his new just like new collection, yes. And the prices were pretty high, but this collection and the designer is just like really on top of the league. So people were just like there, and the guy who was actually they asked him a question, how much money you have and what I will spend, and he said $1,000, hold on, whatever. Whatever, because he knew that they will buy it and sell it later on an Allegro. So if someone is smart, maybe you will just like pay for how much are you willing to pay. Half of the price of the shop. Because if I will buy it, then I will sell it. But if it's about my
limited edition. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So let's move on. In short, people used to differ judging the value and then saying that I'm willing to pay this amount of money. How it works. So if I recognize the value of for example, this bottle of water by 2 zloty, so in many cases I'm willing to pay 10 or 20% less than the value recognition. It makes sense. You can imagine how the promotion works, right? So this is exactly this mechanism. You know that the value is higher. You recognize the value of the water, okay, almost 2 zloty. But if the price is lower than the value, right, I'm just willing to pay. Because we all look for bargaining, right? Some special occasion, and especially if we say, okay, this is I just found it as a special occasion. So that is good. Yeah, if you don't, very good question. If you don't know the price level, the reference price, that's the pricing definition of this kind of comparison. That just don't work, right? Exactly. But if we ask the questions, what do you think? What is the market price of Camera GoPro? Because I didn't answer. The camera starts, I just checked yesterday evening, the camera, the market price of this camera starts from 1.5 thousand zloty. So March you paid market price, right? So we this is the GoPro Hero Black edition, 3 editions, but whatever. So I think about the electronics, television, cars, and this stuff. In many categories, we have a clue what is the value market value. We call it price. This is the reference price. We have some, on the back feeling of the reference price, and our customer has the feeling about the reference price of our service and product as well. In many cases, right? So they just judge it in a very similar way. Okay. So what I'm saying finally is that the value recognition is one stage, but the willingness to pay is second. Really. So we have to communicate the value very strongly, but then think a bit what is the bargain for our customers to make them pay the money for it, because it's not the same. Oh, okay, let's go move on. Okay, and now let's talk about the value-based pricing. So we've got the three very important steps in this strategy. So first of all, we have to understand our value on the market. It's all about this USP. Is our product service unique? What level? Do our competitors, do the same stuff, or what is the different? What are the differences? And really understanding that this is the very first stage to move on to price the value in a proper way. The proper way. So what I mentioned before, this is the price, the fair price of the value we deliver with some kind of bargain. And then the third step is sell the value. I will talk about that completely. Next, please. And let me just give you the clue how your customer evaluate the value of the product or service. And in pricing, there is a term very important, economic value. This is sort of the situation we described. So how customers think or have feelings about the value. So first of all, the customer just automatically search in mind of the reference point. So value of the reference. So it can be a competitive product or some other product similar or some substitute product. Let me tell you the example from coaching. I'm the business coach as well, and now this is pretty cool form of training. But a few years ago, when the coaching started, career in Poland, people just had a problem to compare, to understand what is the real value of coaching session, right? So I just examined this deeply, and the outcome was really interesting. They just compare the price of coaching session. Guess with what?
In English, lesson or the lesson with formulator?
No. Cool. With a doctor session, with a medical doctor session. And why? Right? Because there is some kind of improvement, a health improvement, and this is some sort of mental business improvement, right? So either like the average doctor visit private component costs, I don't know, from 80 to 200 zloty maybe, right? So they used to compare this coaching pricing session to that point, and it's really very important to understand if that works in your sector or not, because if people compare this to the doctor session and it's very known level of pricing, it is very difficult to price the product in a double without really explaining where the difference comes from. So that's the really important point. So customer value the reference point, they look for the reference point, what is the value, right? And then they value diversification from your product or service, right? So they just add and say, okay, the value of your competitive product is X, right? And really, what is the difference between your and competitor offer? And it is, of course, this is very quick process and it's not easy to understand. But really, that's in this direction. So let me give you the two examples of estimating economic value. Yes, please. So first example is free cola. Probably you know this beverage. Guys, free cola, right? The younger generation knows very well. I don't know if the prices are clearly seen, right? I hope so. So we've got the Coca-Cola with the price tag $2.99 and Fritz Cola $5.99, right? So Fritz Cola they started 2003, and I was really interested how two young guys, making the startups in Hamburg, they just, you know, they just decided to have double or even triple price point level than Coca-Cola. That was really interesting lesson for me, how they just had a force to introduce that pricing on the market. And this is this picture shows this mechanism of estimating the economic value, how it works. So first of all, as I mentioned before, we look for reference value, and they clearly say we want to introduce on the market better Coca-Cola, the better cola, they say, the better cola, right? So the reference point was pretty obvious. So Coca-Cola was the reference point, and then they asked really serious questions. How can we differ from Coca-Cola? Because Coca-Cola is really the global brand known, and no doubt about that, right? So they did their homework, and they just said that we differ from Coca-Cola in 3 levels. First of all, design. So we've got pretty modern, new stuff, like cool colors, then eco. So Fritz Cola is available only in glass returnable bottles. Now this is not the question mark in Germany. They can return everything, which is very good. I mean, last week I was in Germany. I was really impressed about the system, how returnable system works. Like all the cans, glass, everything. You can even give away in a petrol station. Really fantastic system. And third taste. They say we just want to make the cola with the amount of caffeine and less sweet, with a slight hint of lemon. This is the really recipe description, right? So they say, okay, this is our differentiation level, and for that, we just want to have the double or the triple price. This is amazing, right? And it works. I can say that this system works. This business concept works. They've got wider and wider distribution of. You can find in Fritz Cola in many places in Poland. Recently, I paid for Fritz Cola in Krakow in some restaurant $9.99, so pretty high price for a little bit sweeter cola, right? With the taste, it's either the thing. They say that we just want to have our Fritz Cola should be less sweet. I checked the sweet level into the beverage. Guess what? Exactly, it is the same level. So the difference in taste comes from lemon, right? So it's like the fruit recipe stuff, right? Yeah, a little bit. They add a little bit of lemon. That's why the perception of taste is like a little bit less sweet. Yeah, do that? Yeah. Okay. Important? Okay. So what is the mark of this Coca-Cola?
Pepsi.
All right. Okay. So can we start with it?
It's almost the same with the Red Bull.
It's just Coca-Cola.
So what about the economic value is to understand the value of the reference point and then make some plus minus calculation in positive and negative differentiation. This is very important. So what is our differentiation in perception of our customer, but again, plus and minus, because there could be some positive things and could be negative. I just listed here the positive things, but as a negative, we can say that switching from global brand to some unknown brand is kind of negative differentiation. It means that people, feel a little bit risk what happened if that new organization will not transform rest of that will be money. So reference point is critical to understand how people perceive our value, and then we need to make some positive and negative differentiation listed very carefully, and then we can think about price points to be introduced, right? And the level of difference. All right. Another example is very interesting because this comes from my experience in pandemic. This is margarine called Benecol. Probably you don't know, guys, this margarine because this is margarine which lower cholesterol. In your age, there is no risk to high cholesterol. I'm over 40, and we're in a risk group. But what is interesting about this margarine, I just was introducing this margarine in the Polish market 10 years ago by myself, being the sales director of a Finnish company. So I think it's pretty good example when you compare the price of Rama, really, number one in volume margarine in Poland, so almost 5 zloty, right, 4.79, with the Benecol 16.99. So you can see that we got the 4 times price. Incredible, right? And I can tell you that this margin in Benecol is number one in value margin in Poland. Number one in value, not in volume. Rama is in volume value, Benecol. So for retail is much better business to deal with Benecol than in Rama. But what is the differentiation value? There is only one sentence. That Benecol reduces cholesterol. And this sentence value a lot of money. Right?
It's recognized as a sort of cure.
Yeah, exactly. But very good point. Yeah. Because this is kind of substitute of taking a pills, which we don't like to do that, right? Taking a pills, it's like, okay, it's saying, okay, I'm sick, or something wrong with me.
But then we invest in this kind of food to protect yourself.
Right. So when you spread the Benecol, one or two slices of bread, right, you can get similar impact on your cholesterol than taking pills. That's why the price is for the bigger line. And it's a very interesting story. I was introducing to this product in the market, and we just found the problem in believing that it works. So my salespeople, they just, were a little bit skeptical about, okay, does Benecol works or not? And I knew at this stage, I know that now for sure, that, when you sell the value, you have to really believe in it. Because, customers which will just, not at once, at glance. So what we did the in-house medical test. Every sales guy had to do the medical test and prove for himself or herself that it works. And that was really good move, because then we just use the argumentation as a sales argument that, look, this margin works, and I just tested for myself. Right? So really interesting stuff. So again, differentiation value for cholesterol, for Benecol, is the reduction of cholesterol. And as you probably know, of course, everyone knows that the health. This is the the biggest value human being has, right? So if you've got a business in sort of lifestyle or healthcare sector, please have in mind that this is really a value driver, the biggest value driver we can imagine. Right? And this is the example. All right, let's move on. Okay, but the question could be, what if there is no reference point? And this is example of the project we did this year for the company which are introducing sort of smart band, healthy band, they say. This is from the telemedicine sector. So if somebody, you can give the band to some person, and then you can test, online, blood pressure, pulse, and few other indicators. This is pretty cool new stuff. And our job was to do the pricing. So the business pricing question was, what should be the price for our healthy band on the market? I think they're currently introducing this on the market. So we found out that we've got no real reference value to take into the consideration. So we did some searches, and we understood that people might compare this product to maybe smartwatch or fitness band. There is one similar product in the US, or some stuff to measure the blood pressure, right? And then we did some kind of relevancy weight, which we can judge, okay, in what extent this is relevant or not. So we just try to understand, what could be the reference sort of space for customers to create the price point. No easy stuff, but again, this is methodology to look for some reference understanding, and then check the price points, and then make the pricing decision. So this is a tool how we can estimate the reference value. All right. Another very valuable tool is to list the value drivers for our product or service. So we can list the value drivers we understand the customers would like to have, or they value most. And this is example of coffee machines, which we've got on the left list of attributes. For example, amount of brewed coffee, quality of brewed coffee, reliability of the brand, durability, range of useful functions, warranty, and this stuff. And then we've got the weight coming from qualitative researches, so small focus groups with the customers, how important each value driver is for them. And then we can compare this value of attributes with some other ones to make some comparison with our competitors. And in the bottom, we can see the result of that. So we look at the ranking and the weighted rating. And we can see that brand number 1, number A, and C are quite similar in the value perception. Brand B is the most valuable, perceived as the most valuable, and brand number B least valuable. So of course, we shouldn't price all those products in the same ranking, right? So this is the tool to make some kind of pricing differentiations, to understand what drives our customers to buy our products, and what is the really importance all web drivers. That's good. Okay, and this is another examples pretty interesting. This is the evaluation of new electric sedan feature preferences. And the customer were asked what is the most important value attribute for you, or from the other hand, in the same time, what is the least important? So this picture shows what our customers value most and least, right? And pretty interesting that the guys, potential customers of electric sedan cars, they value most fastness, right? That is pretty surprising, right? And number two, smooth even under acceleration. So we all men are the same, and it doesn't matter is it an electric car or the classic one. But let's see from the other hand. So interesting that customer pay least attention, least that they perceive that they least valuable, safety and this electricness, right? That is eco, right? That do not use fuel and this stuff. Really interesting, and he's saying that our understanding of value in the office might be very different than perception of our potential customer. So that's why trying to understand the value drivers is really critical. Okay, next please. Okay, and then we talked before shortly about the value perception and willingness to pay is a bit different world, right? And I just want to share with you some topics, where this idea could come from. So how can we judge, or how can we understand, how our customers are willing to pay for our product or service? So of course we have some kind of historical transaction data. We can examine that. What happened if we increase or decrease the price. So this is one sort of information. Then of course we can ask the expert, some sector experts or some pricing experts, and this is the shortest, fastest way to get some grip on it. Then we can use some kind of benchmark. So maybe the there could be some kind of similarities in other markets or other sectors that we can introduce or get some knowledge from into our product or service. Then maybe some competitors' information could be helpful. What happens if competitors decrease or increase the price, right? How successful they are at this value they propose versus price point they are on. So observing the competitors could be helpful as well. And of course, there are price researches, and this is the point I would like to talk a little bit more about it. Can you do that? Okay, there are a number of price researches that they pretty good measure our reaction on pricing. I will tell you about 3 examples. So first is price sensitivity meter. Price sensitivity meter just study the range of acceptance of prices. Range of acceptance. So during this session, we ask our customer what price is too high for you, what price is high, what price is low, and the fourth, very important, what price is too low that makes you doubt in the value you deliver. So then we can find some kind of range of prices, and then we can test some price points within this range. The other one is direct price acceptance. So we've got some price point proposal, let's say for the order of this body of water. We test the price for 199, 149, 249, 299, right? And then we just try to understand, what is what is the percentage of customers willing to pay this money, and what is the probability that they buy at this price point. And the third one is great brand price trade-off. We're trying to understand the elasticity of demand with a certain price point and the product and the competitive product. So all those, searches are very helpful to understand, this willingness to pay, and they are conducted during the focus sessions with the team of from 6 to 8 people in the team. Very powerful tool, and many answers are really eye-opening, for our value understanding and willingness to pay. Okay. I think this is the previous one. Okay. Okay, and then finally we got the selling value session. So we talk about how to understand our value, how to price the value according to the willingness to pay, right? And then we go to our customers, try to sell them the value. So first of all, we need to segment our market in a proper way. I told about this before, that some people will willing to pay much more money than the others. So if you are able to segment the market and segment your value proposition, this is really the very good way to make most of your pricing. So this is number one. And then, of course, understanding the value and believing it, this is really the crucial, because if not, the customer will doubt your value, and you will not be successful. And then defend the value you deliver. It means that you have to be very careful with the concession of price concessions. You have to be very strong with the price negotiation. It's better to give added value than make some price concessions. So the way how you present your price, how you present your discounts or bonus systems, how you negotiate your pricing, it's really crucial for defending the value you offer. So that was the third step of our value-based pricing, and I think we are done with the material. Okay, next please. Okay, so finally I would like to encourage you to, if you are interested in some kind of new pricing models, pricing strategies, we share our knowledge at our website, fanpage, Facebook, and LinkedIn. You can see the free Scholar cases. There's a big article about that. So if you are interested to get some more information about some interesting cases, you can find the content. You can find the content. All right. So I think this is time for questions, right? So other. Let's try in English. So are there any online teams? We are waiting.
The question on the 17th slide. So the seven selling. What country was it not the recipe?
Germany.
Germany. So I thought the electricity aspect would be very important to them. Yes, because now it's very popular in the nuclear aspect and the energy source.
Yeah, that's a very good point. But you know, Tesla is
We know something more about the group of people that use that.
Looks like most of them.
for sure. I have no more detailed information about the scale and the number of people we serve. But we need to remember that, for example, Tesla is more successful with electric car. This is really pretty expensive. Yeah. So maybe that's what you said, that some people in common in general, they value the eco-trend very much. There's not people who has a lot of money, right? Which if an Apple is electrical, you know, it's a little bit different of the popularity. Right?
Use some equally
Yeah.
and we have other not as spectacular one mentioned because Tesla is something like Apple.
No, that's not it.
It's better.
Tesla
Yeah, I
is
mean
not
that.
good by everyone right now. And Apple is a little bit controversial. Yeah, and Tesla is providing something completely new.
Half year ago, after some developments with farmers, they had some problems with some
This Tesla, which is it's really huge acceleration.
Yes,
It's similar to that observation, right? It's electric.
So if somebody is thinking about that, definitely and fast and
Exactly. So it's the same outcome comes from this research. Is that what we think is one stage that our customer thinks to be really very good stuff. And for pricing, value proposition and pricing, we need to really try to use our customer perception. Yes. It can be really different very forward. Examples are many.
for my business. It's very difficult because I serve mine. I had all the product with service in yesterday. The prices are very changeable.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for any. And the problem is that, of course, we provide the very best service for customers, helpline, guidance, etc. But if they give you experience, if they don't have any experiences with others, they have nothing to do there.
Right.
And in this case, it's difficult because, average user, and for those who compare our service according to banks, according to speed, it's okay. When they trying to compare our services, online services, from one to another, it's almost impossible to pick that better one during the same time.
So this is good and bad. The one hand it's good to go, but you've got some more space for pricing because you say that it's pretty hard to compare. But the one drivers
External and good.
have sort of commodity
Exactly. So the price, which is considered as the most important feature in this business. For some people, of course, we have a huge number of customers who know that we don't have the lowest prices. We can honestly buy because we have to provide this very best service because we have rational prices. We always emphasize, but we don't raise the dumping like that's the first thing we tell our customers when they find it complicated. And then we drive their attention that micro stars and different.
Even, I mean, to be the cheapest on the market is very, very hard.
It's risky also.
It's very, very hard. You have to be really perfect in cost management. You have to be very fast with some changes, and it's really the myth that people just look for the rest. It's not true. Again, the result from the session. People buy perception of money. Perception of money is always not only
When the difference among the competitors is so tiny. So only those big players who can buy or sell huge amounts of money, huge volumes, they can come to us and then we make them official proposition because we notice that during the negotiation, sometimes the price goes up and down twice more, and we after all when we give our customers lower prices and we cut our margin, we generally give them higher prices because the basic price went up to that time we were negotiating.
Yeah.
So we have something like price hunting. So they can put their prices they want to buy or sell now with money and put on the sort of auction, and we have the possibility to cover the block to do and sell the money to our customers directly instead of giving to middleman. So we try to do this way.
Other questions from online? Let's see.
Maybe we will wait for Kristen.
We are done. We are done with all the questions that were raised during and after the seminar. So if you have no more questions, then I would just like thank you all of you for being with us and an excellent webinar and precious knowledge from you, Grzegorz. So if you guys have some more questions, please send us within the email, and we will try to give an answer on the following session, because that we also plan that the subject of pricing will be like a series of webinars with Grzegorz. So that is the plan. So thank you one more time. And here we on the spot, we will have some time also to discuss more individually the subject of pricing. So thank you, and see you next time. Thank you.
Bye.